Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're working on this speaking topic. Describe a successful sportsperson you admire. For a lot of people, this question can feel a bit uncomfortable at first. You might be thinking, I don't really follow sports. What am I supposed to say? And that's completely normal. The good news is, you don't need to be a sports expert. You just need one person you can talk about clearly and a simple way to organise your ideas. As always, I'll show you two model answers to help you see how this can be done in a clear and natural way. Let's start with Finn's response.
Well, if I had to talk about a sports person I truly admire, it would undoubtedly be Cristiano Ronaldo, the legendary Portuguese footballer. I've actually been following his career for the better part of a decade now. I first came across his highlights when I was about 10 years old back in 2016. At that time, he was at the peak of his powers with Real Madrid. Even as a kid, I could tell that he was a cut above the rest. Since then, I've followed his journey through Juventus, his emotional return to Manchester United, and now his time with Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. In terms of what he's like as a person, Ronaldo is often described as incredibly intense and single-minded. While some might view him as arrogant, I see it as an unwavering self-belief. He's known for his rigorous discipline. Famously, he's always the first to arrive at training and the last to leave. As for his achievements, they're remarkable. He's won 5 Ballon d'Or and has lifted the Champions League 5 times. His career has spanned over 2 decades, and his ability to maintain such high levels of performance even as he gets older is incredible. The reason I admire him, especially as a university student, isn't just because of his raw talent. It's his resilience. He's faced immense scrutiny and the challenges of aging, yet he refuses to rest on his laurels. It serves as a constant reminder to me that success isn't just about natural gift. It's about sheer grit and the willingness to outwork everyone else. For me, he's the epitome of professional dedication.
All right, that was a very natural and well-organised response. What makes it effective is that it feels like a story, not a list of ideas. Let's go through it step by step so you can see exactly how it answers the question. Finn begins by clearly answering the first point, who the person is. He says that it's Cristiano Ronaldo, a famous Portuguese footballer. So right away we know exactly who he's talking about. Then he moves on to what he knows about him. Instead of giving random facts, he explains how he first discovered Ronaldo as a child and how he has followed his career over time. This makes the answer feel personal and easy to follow. After that, he describes what Ronaldo is like in real life. He uses ideas like being intense, disciplined, and very focused. He also mentions that some people see him as arrogant, but he interprets it differently, as strong self-belief. This adds a bit of depth to the answer. Next, he talks about his achievements. He mentions major awards like the Ballon d'Or and Champions League titles. These are specific and help support why this person is successful. Finally, he explains why he admires him. This is where the answer becomes more personal. He focuses on resilience, hard work, and not giving up, and connects it to his own life as a student. That personal connection is what makes the answer memorable. Now let's look at another example from Blondie. This one has a slightly different tone. It's a bit more reflective and personal.
If I had to pick one athlete who really stands out to me, it would definitely be Serena Williams. Even though she's technically stepped away from the professional circuit now, her impact on the game is legendary. I've followed her career since I was quite young, and it's been incredible to watch her journey from the public courts in Compton to winning Grand Slams on the world stage. To me, she isn't just a tennis player. She's become a global icon in fashion, business, and motherhood. From what I've gathered through her interviews and documentaries, she's a fascinating mix of fierce intensity on the court and genuine vulnerability off it. She always had this warrior persona, totally focused and almost intimidating. But away from the court, she's down to earth and deeply devoted to her family. She's been remarkably open about her struggles with health and the pressure of being in the spotlight, which makes her far more relatable and grounded than your typical invincible superstar. Her achievements are honestly mind-blowing. She's won 23 Grand Slam singles titles, a record in the open era, along with several Olympic gold medals. What's even more impressive is that she won the Australian Open while pregnant, which is a true testament to her insane physical and mental toughness. The main reason I admire her, though, is her resilience. Tennis is a lonely, high-pressure sport, and despite facing so much scrutiny, she never backed down. As a young woman myself, seeing her own her power and refuse to shrink to fit people's expectations is incredibly empowering. She showed that you can be ambitious, outspoken, and successful all at once.
Now let's go through this answer step by step. Blondie starts by answering who the person is, clearly introducing Serena Williams as a famous tennis player and someone who has had a huge impact on the sport. Then she talks about what she knows about her by describing her journey, from playing on public courts to competing on the world stage. This gives a sense of development over time, rather than just listing facts. When describing what she is like, Blondie presents two sides of her personality. On the one hand, she's strong, intense, and highly competitive. On the other hand, she's also open, human, and family-oriented. This contrast makes the description more engaging and realistic. She then moves on to her achievements, mentioning her Grand Slam titles and Olympic medals, and highlighting a very specific moment, winning while pregnant, which makes the example more vivid and memorable. Finally, she explains why she admires her. Instead of focusing only on success, she emphasizes resilience, the ability to handle pressure, and staying true to yourself. She also connects this to her own experience, which makes the answer feel more personal and relatable. Now let's look at some useful language you can use when talking about someone successful, especially if you're not sure how to express your ideas. When you're describing someone's performance, instead of just saying, very good, you can say they were at the peak of their powers, which means they were performing at their absolute best. For example, you could say, she was at the peak of her powers when she won 3 major tournaments in 1 year. If you want to compare someone to others, you might say they're a cut above the rest. This suggests they're clearly better than everyone else. For instance, even as a teenager, he was already a cut above the rest. And to describe personality, single-minded is useful for someone who is completely focused on one goal. You could say, she's very single-minded when it comes to training and improving her skills. When talking about success, you can highlight inner qualities like unwavering self-belief, which means having strong confidence that doesn't change even in difficult situations. For example, he succeeded because of his unwavering self-belief, even when others doubted him. Another useful phrase is rigorous discipline, which refers to strict habits and routines. You might say her success comes from years of rigorous discipline and daily practice, and if you want to emphasize continued effort, you can say someone doesn't rest on their laurels. This means they don't stop trying after achieving success. For instance, even after winning multiple awards, she never rests on her laurels and keeps pushing herself. Sometimes you may want to talk about someone's influence beyond their field. Calling them a global icon shows they are recognized all over the world. For example, she's not just an athlete, she's a global icon known for her influence in many areas. To describe personality in a more relatable way, down to earth is useful. It suggests someone is humble and easy to connect with. You could say, despite her fame, she's very down to earth and approachable. And when you want to highlight something impressive as proof of ability, you can use a testament to. For instance, winning a major title under pressure is a testament to his mental strength. When describing effort and determination, you can say someone pushes themselves to the limit, which means they go as far as they possibly can, both physically and mentally. For example, he pushes himself to the limit in every training session, which is why he keeps improving. If you want to highlight why someone is special, stand out from the crowd is a useful phrase. It suggests they are noticeably different in a positive way. You could say, what makes her stand out from the crowd is not just her talent, but her attitude. And when talking about admiration, a role model is very natural. It refers to someone others look up to and want to learn from. For instance, she's a role model for young athletes who want to succeed through hard work. When talking about challenges, overcome obstacles is a strong phrase. It means successfully dealing with difficulties. For example, He had to overcome many obstacles before reaching the top level. Another useful expression is handle pressure, which refers to staying calm and performing well in stressful situations. You might say, she's able to handle pressure better than most athletes, especially in important matches. Finally, dedication to one's craft is a more advanced way to talk about commitment. It emphasizes long-term effort and passion. For instance, his success is the result of years of dedication to his craft. So if this topic feels difficult at first, remember, you don't need expert knowledge about sports. Focus on one person, a few clear ideas, and your own thoughts about them. Try practicing this at home. Pick someone, speak for 1 to 2 minutes, and see how smoothly you can connect your ideas. If you want more practice like this, you can join the membership for access to extra lessons and speaking topics. See you in the next lesson.